We are currently in a heat wave, so if you see any very obvious deodorant patches, ignore that please. I also have my fan on, so if my hair is blowing very dramatically, that's why. But summer is well on its way, and I've had a very brilliant June, and I've discovered many things that I want to share with you guys. As usual, I've tried to compile a list of not just things I've bought, but also things I've discovered and things I've learnt, and so I'm very excited to share with you guys my June favorites. Starting off, I bought some new wax and wax seals. In the past, I've only used one type of wax and also only one wax seal. I bought this at Choose and Keeping, and the seal shows a sedan chair, and the actual wax is called Gutenberg Crest Wax, I think, and it is in the shade Bordeaux Red. This has served me very, very well, and I've really enjoyed using this wax and also this wax seal. However, I've run out of wax, and also I seem to have lost my actual seal stamp. I'm a bit paranoid because my desk is very messy, and my desk is also right next to my bin, and I'm worried I might have knocked the seal over into my bin and binned it. But I've cleaned my room, I've looked everywhere, and it's just not showing up. So eventually, when I was ordering some new wax seal sticks, I decided okay, I'm gonna have to just accept defeat and buy a new wax seal stamp, which isn't great because they are a bit pricey, but I do use them a lot, so I'm justifying that purchase. I bought 3 different colors of wax. First of all, I've got the Bordeaux Red that I was talking about because it is just such a beautiful color. I really, really love how it looks on envelopes. This is hard wax. Apparently there is a difference between flexible wax, I think it's called, and hard wax. I prefer hard wax just because it's the only one I've used. I've never used the more softer flexible wax before. Apparently that one is a bit better for sealing envelopes in some cases because it doesn't crack as easily. However, I double envelope my envelopes anyways, so I don't think that's so much of an issue for me. Also, if you're sending wax sealed letters in the UK, I do recommend double enveloping. Maybe this is the case in other places as well, but apparently in the UK, the sorting machines that Royal Mail use really tear wax to bits, so you kind of have to double envelope it to keep the actual sealed envelope safe. The other 2 colors I bought are Burnt Sienna, which I've not used yet, but I'm very excited to use. This is so beautiful. And then the one that I actually have been using is this dark blue wax. Blue is my favorite color, so this has been so brilliant. I saw a lighter blue as well. I think it was called middle blue, and I really like that one, but I decided for now not to go overboard and only buy what I need, so I just bought this shade. And yeah, it's just so brilliant. I think it's so romantic. It's so kind of spooky. I just really, really like it. And it performs just as well as the red wax. I've been really enjoying using this. I've only actually used it once or twice. There's not a lot that's been used, but yeah. As for the actual wax seal that I bought, I have not used it yet. It's a bird, and I think it's a swallow. And I don't know if you're going to be able to see it very well, but it's so beautiful, and I like that the bird is kind of like a messenger almost. The carrier pigeon reimagined. I've not used it yet, but I'm very, very excited to use it, and I just love wax sealing, and I'm very, very happy with these new colors. The only thing that's a bit annoying is that I only have one wax melting spoon, and that is literally a kitchen spoon. The wax dries on it and it's really annoying to clean, so I don't know how often I can switch colors. I think I'm just going to use up the blue until it finishes and then use the next one until it finishes and switch colors once I've run out of a color, rather than switching here and there, which maybe could be more fun, but I just it's such a nightmare to clean this that for convenience sake I'm not going to do that. The next thing that I've been really loving in June are my new prescription glasses. I also have prescription normal glasses coming, but when I originally chose the glasses I wanted at Specsavers, I didn't have any mascara on, and then when I went to collect them, I did have mascara on. Whereas originally they were these little square frames. To be honest, they were kind of dorky. I really liked them, but then I sent photos to my friends and they were all yes, the nerd, the geek, whoop. No one was really a fan of them except for me, so maybe it was a bit of a blessing in disguise that then when I went back for them and my mascara was on, it pushed the glasses so that I couldn't have them as close to my eyes as I should. So then Specsavers let me change them into different frames, which are coming. They said it would be a week or 2, and it's been over a week, so hopefully I'll get them soon. But in the meantime, I have my prescription sunglasses. These are Liberty London frames, which I think are only available in Specsavers, and these are the model LL Sun RX03. I've always loved humongous, buggy kind of glasses, which these are, so I'm very, very happy with them. I never really wanted to buy prescription glasses before because glasses are expensive. I think these were over £100, and I always thought it was a bit scammy because my prescription is so small that it shouldn't make that much of a difference. However, these are an absolute game changer. All of my friends who wear glasses who don't have prescription sunglasses, I've been recommending these to. These are just so brilliant. It's crazy how clearly I can see, and I've never experienced sunglasses in this way before. Before I would just wear any old sunglasses, and also if you don't have prescription sunglasses, I really recommend looking in TK Maxx for sunglasses because they have really nice styles but a lot cheaper than you would normally buy them for. And as fun as they were, as my eyesight got a little bit worse, I found that like already without glasses, like I can see well because my prescription is really small, but my depth perception is a bit off. So then I'd put on normal sunglasses, and not only was my depth perception off, but also everything was just really murky. So I found that like crossing roads with sunglasses on was like such a dangerous game, and I was tripping over things, and I just realized that like I couldn't wear sunglasses anymore. But when I went to pick up my new glasses, which also, fun fact, my prescription has improved, which is crazy. The reason I went to retest my eyes was because I thought my prescription had gotten way worse, and although it had changed, it actually had gotten way better, which was really sick. But I noticed that Specsavers had a 2-for-1 deal, so I decided to try these glasses because they were basically free, and I literally could never go back now. I'm also taking such good care of them. Before, I would be really too relaxed with my sunglasses, but they come in this beautiful pouch, and I have been making sure to put them back nicely whenever I've been putting them on. Going back to letter writing a little bit, another thing that I've been really enjoying is hand lettering. I have horrible handwriting, like I have very classic 13-year-old boy handwriting. It's so awful, and I never really cared that much until I started seeing my boyfriend, because my boyfriend has been doing calligraphy for years, like honestly perhaps close to like a decade now, and he is absolutely cracked at it. Like it's not something that he did here and there. He was like disciplined, and he had like all these workbooks and stuff. One time I was talking about calligraphy with my grandma, and I mentioned that my partner does it, and when I showed it to her, she was like, no, that's not what I mean, like that was done with a computer, I mean like hand done calligraphy. And I was like, yeah, like that is hand done calligraphy, he is just that good. So then when he'd write me letters and I'd see my name at the front written so beautifully, I was like, wait, like I've been put to shame, I really need to work on it. So I took a Skillshare course which was called Hand Lettering for Beginners, The Fundamentals of Drawing Beautiful Letters by Kristen De Palma. And guys, I'm still definitely not that brilliant, but I am so much better, and it's crazy because it was literally just an hour-long course. I'll show you guys what I did, and like it's really not that amazingly great or anything, but the fact that I was so bad before, it's like such a huge jump. For the course, I had to pick like a quote that I liked, and I picked this Rumi quote, and look at that. Like, okay, there are lots of mistakes and it's still very messy and it's still quite uneven, but this is such a step up from what I used to do. And I think perhaps probably the thing I need to work on the most is the spacing of how I've kind of laid out the words. But for writing names at the front of envelopes, which is the main reason I want to improve my handwriting, that doesn't really matter because I just need to make sure that my actual writing is better. And I do feel like it is a lot better. So yeah, I'm very happy. And sometimes when I'd write letters, I would make my boyfriend write my friends' names on the front because I was like, man, like I actually can't, like it's too ugly, I need him to do it. But I won't be needing him anymore because I'm very happy with this, to be honest. I'm really glad I did that hand lettering course because as much as I have even considered doing proper calligraphy, it is just such an intense discipline, it seems like. Like when I mentioned to my boyfriend that I was thinking of doing calligraphy a while back, he was like, okay, great, like I'll print out workbooks for you, but like, you know, it really is a dedication, and like, you know, it's a proper discipline. Like you can't just write pretty, you have to actually learn how to do it. Whereas at one point in the Skillshare course, Kristen De Palma said something like, calligraphy is like writing the words, whereas hand lettering is like drawing the words. And that's really fun because it means you do have a lot more leeway to be a bit more free with how you choose to write the words. And like I said, the entire course was literally just an hour, and I feel like I learned so much. And if you're interested in maybe doing the course as well, I'm very pleased to announce that this video is actually sponsored by Skillshare. As brilliant as this course was, they have so many other courses, and they have such a range of categories as well. Like they have art, they have photography, they have design, and they're also taught by real world-class creatives as well, which is so great because you're being taught by people who actually have experience in these fields. If you're interested in joining me in jazzing up your letters, or if you're interested in the many other courses that Skillshare provides, the first 500 people that use the link in my description will get 20% off of their first year on Skillshare. You will also get a 7-day free trial and a 30-day money-back guarantee so that you can explore Skillshare completely risk-free. Thank you so much, Skillshare, and also Kristen De Palma for improving my letters. And make sure to use the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen. The next thing that I've been really enjoying is eating my food outside. I definitely like to do that a lot of the time, but I think I don't make as much of a habit out of it when it's colder because it just isn't as nice. But now that the weather's been consistently really warm and really lovely, I've really been liking eating all of my meals outside. I think it's nice because I often can fall into the habit of trying to multitask and trying to eat my food while doing something else. Like if I need to watch a video, or if I just like want to watch a video, I'll put that on while eating, and I kind of view eating as not an activity that deserves my attention on its its own. And I don't think that's really great, especially with trying to practice mindfulness and trying to practice being more present. I think it's really important to not multitask and to try to really put all your attention into the thing that you're doing in front of you. So eating outside is great because it forces me to have to just really engage with my food and engage with my surroundings. It's not like I can do anything in between bites. It's like I'm really just sat and I'm eating my food and I'm just enjoying it. It's also really nice because it really breaks up my day a bit, and it also is such a change of scenery. Because I'm very busy a lot of the time, I don't tend to eat my meals at the same time as my family. If I am eating meals at the same time as my family, I do prefer to eat with them, but because that isn't the case a lot of the time, I like eating outside because it forces me to look at a different environment and kind of break up my day. Especially if I have like a big editing day, I'm just sat in my room all day with just my computer in front of me, and it used to be really hellish when then I'd like bring my food up and keep editing while eating, and I like really didn't have a break. But being forced to have to go outside and like listen to the birds and be in nature is just so brilliant. We also didn't grow up with a garden, so I think having a garden now is like so fantastic, and I really want to like appreciate my garden more. So if you have the opportunity to eat outside, especially now that the weather's nicer, I really recommend trying it because it's so brilliant. And I think doing that alone but also with people as well, it's so nice. Even when I go to restaurants with friends, I do tend to prefer sitting outside. So it's like, why spend that money on a restaurant when I could literally just eat in my garden with my friends? So that's been really, really good fun. The next thing that I have to share was a bit of a stupid, impulsive purchase. I have these fucking crazy, beautiful moon boots. I actually have a history with these boots. My best friend had a pair of them. Oh my gosh, fly. My best friend had a pair of these and she didn't want them anymore. She offered to give them to me, but then she ended up selling them on Depop for £30, which is crazy because like, if you know about these boots, they do not cost £30. Whoever managed to buy those boots off of her had a blessed day because like that was such a steal. So this was a bit of a stupid impulsive decision. However, when my best friend had them, she would let me borrow them a lot, and I got so much wear out of them that I think I definitely will get a lot of wear out of these, just probably not anytime soon. Because yeah, they are really, really hot, but they are really comfortable. It literally feels like my feet are being hugged by the most cozy marshmallows and clouds. So fly, I love them so much, and these have been my dream boots for years, but they were just so expensive that I never really could justify it, and I've still not justified it. It was really like a stupid purchase. I'm only including them here because I did buy them this month, but I'm probably not going to wear them for quite a few months. In the winter, you will be seeing me with these. Another thing that I've sort of rediscovered in June is more of a, I don't know, I want to say mental health, but I don't know if that's really the right word. A kind of hack, I guess. I was cycling with my boyfriend and I asked him like, do you ever feel this really deep sort of, not unhappiness, but I guess dissatisfaction is the right word, just a very deep dissatisfaction of life. And like, no matter how great things are and how brilliant things are and how sort of content you feel in some ways, there is this kind of like, oof, is this it feeling? And it's strange because in some ways I think I am such a happy person, like not necessarily happy the emotion, but happy like the state of mind. Like I'm very content and I feel very, very grateful, and I just feel very brilliant a lot of the time. Even when I'm feeling sad, even when I'm feeling really awful, it feels like those feelings are just feelings, they're just emotions. But deep down, I have this kind of attitude of like, I don't know, what a blessing to feel it all. But it's weird because despite feeling that very strongly, I equally get into these moods of very deep dissatisfaction where it is a blessing to feel it all, but is this really all? I think that dissatisfaction particularly crops up when I'm very scared of death. And in those moments, I'm really like, oof, like, oh my gosh, like nothing is enough. And it's weird because these two also coexist. I don't think they're mutually exclusive at all, because despite feeling like, oof, oh my gosh, like none of this is enough, I'm still like, oh, and like, what joy, what fun. I feel like life is so theatrical and so stupid and so ridiculous that even when I am like, oh my God, like I'm never satisfied with anything, I still feel this kind of like, oh, how dramatic, get over yourself. But that's not to say that that feeling of dissatisfaction isn't the most uncomfortable feeling ever. And I was speaking to my boyfriend about it and I was like, I just don't know how to shake it. Like it's really been haunting me recently. Like these past few days, I just keep feeling this kind of like, is this everything? I'm going to die. I'm going to die soon. Like, no way this is everything. And my hack, which I used to do and I just forgot about it, I think because I stopped being scared of death, so then the initial kind of feeling went away, so I didn't need to like have the cure for it anymore. But now that it's back, I've re-remembered my hack. And that is to ask myself, am I satisfied in this exact moment? And by moment, I don't mean adding any story of like, right now that I'm in this job and I'm doing this, and like, no, none of that. Like no thinking, just, am I satisfied? And the answer is always yes, to be honest. Like, cause I was cycling and I was so grumpy. But again, I love being grumpy. I love feeling things. So I didn't really mind, but I was a bit like, ugh, like I'm so dissatisfied. I can't possibly imagine being satisfied. And then I just stopped and I was like, I can feel the sun kissing me. The wind's blowing. What the fuck is there to not be satisfied about? I'm so satisfied. That really has cured it for me. And every time I found myself, because I'm still scared of death, so every now and then those feelings come back. But then I'm just like, but am I satisfied right now? There's no problem. Truly, the answer to all of my problems is just being present. I think as someone who's so existential, I really need to just remember that, like, of course I'm going to be existential if I ask myself these stupid, intense questions about the future all the time. If I just chill out and I just look around me and everything's brilliant, and right now the fan's on me and it feels so great, and I'm breathing and it feels so nice to breathe. What is the problem? Where is the problem other than in these questions that I ask myself? I'm the one creating these problems, and sometimes I just need to shut my mouth and I just need to look around and everything's fine. The next thing that I've really been loving in June is the L'Occitane hand cream. I've seen so many people talk about this, but I never really had a problem with dry hands before because I had just super clammy hands all of the time back when I was anxious. I never had issues of dry skin on my hands because my hands were always wet from stress. However, as brilliant as it is that now I am not an anxious girl anymore, I actually have very dry hands. And finally, I was like, okay, enough is enough. I need to get some hand cream. And I was originally just like using any random cream that I found around the house, or like, I don't know, I was using like the same Aveeno that I kind of use on my body. I was trying to use that on my hands, but it just wasn't enough, and I found that my hands were just feeling so tight and uncomfortable to be inside. I saw that my mum was using, I can't remember, I think it was the Body Shop cream, and I tried it and it was so nice. I saw that it was kind of a similar price point-ish to this one, because even though that one was cheaper, I think there's less of it in the, not bottle, but in the tube. And so I did some Reddit research, and apparently this one is better than the Body Shop one, although I've not done like a side-by-side comparison or anything. But I thought, okay, and I bought it, and it has been so lovely. I think I was concerned because this one has so much shea butter that it would be greasy, but the thing is, even though it is greasy when you apply it, it absorbs so fast that that isn't really a problem. Like, I'll tell myself, okay, I'm gonna put this on, and then I just can't touch anything for like a minute, and then by the time I'm like ready to like touch things and do things, it's all absorbed and my hands just feel wonderful. So yeah, I thought that this was a bit scammy, or like, I mean, it's very beautiful, and I've kept seeing this on like Pinterest photos of like, you know, the products all laid out, and I was like, right, is this a good product or is it just a beautiful product? Like, is this actually good? And I can safely say that this is actually a very good product, and I will be repurchasing it. The next thing I've been loving in June is bug nets because of a horror story that I experienced. I was laid on my bed and my boyfriend was sat, so he was like, I was looking up at him and I could hear this really, really loud sound, this really loud buzzing, and it sounded like a lawnmower. And then suddenly from behind his head, I see a huge red, I thought it was like two wasps together. It was so huge, this huge red thing come out from behind him, and it was so loud. So like immediately I jumped up, and gentleman that my boyfriend is, he like opened the door to let me out, and then he stayed in to fight the creature, which I really appreciate, especially because he's quite good with like bugs and insects and stuff, and he doesn't kill them, he just like catches them and takes them outside, which is like perfect. But he said apparently it left on its own. However, he did get a very, very good look at it. And later I was like, what was that? Because that wasn't like a wasp or a bee, that was humongous. Like, actually, what was that? And I was looking at photos of hornets that are in the UK. I was looking at some red ones, and he was like, no, like that's not it. And finally I went on one photo and he was like, oh my god, that is exactly what was in your room. And we clicked on it. It was a queen hornet. There was a humongous queen hornet in my bedroom. And because my boyfriend's lovely and like, oh, those aren't so fresh anymore, but he usually gets me fresh flowers very, very often. It's a very big insect attractor, which like as lovely as they are, and I love the smell, the bees love the smell as well. And I do get like wasps and bees in my room every now and then, and I'm quite scared of them. But the thing is, I overheat so easily. So I always have to have the windows open, and I was like, this just isn't gonna fly. Like, I need the windows open, but I also need something to protect me. And then I remembered that And then I remembered that bug nets exist. I had mosquito nets in my room in Thailand, and they were so brilliant. But the thing is, in England, there aren't really any like bugs, or at least I thought that there aren't really any bugs scary enough to warrant a mosquito net, until I saw that big red hornet. And now I have finally succumbed to the bug nets. It's been really, really lovely having the bug nets, and I've had no more encounters with wasps or bees in my bedroom, and that's been really, really nice because that has been a bit of a problem. So if you find creepy crawlies in your room very often, I do really recommend looking into bug nets. I haven't got like proper bug nets that are installed in the window. What we did was we had some like leftover netting, but like I think it is netting specifically for bug net purposes because my brother put them in his room, and we had just loads left over. So what we did was we put Velcro all over the side of my window, and then we've stuck that on, and then I can like rip the net open to then close and open my window, but most of the time they're left open, and then I can kind of like tape that back on. So it's very DIY, but it has been working great. And the last thing that I've been loving in June is having baths. I'm a bit of a bath hater. I think it just takes too long. I low-key get really understimulated in the bath. Like, it's like I'm just led here and there's nothing to do, and like I could read a book, but like it's not that comfortable and my head can't really rest on anything, and I'm just so bored. Like, I get really, really bored in baths. So my baths in the past were only like 20 minutes, and it was such a waste of water, to be honest, to just like lay there for 20 minutes and then be like, okay, I'm so bored, like I have to get out of here. So I'd always have showers. However, I am an absolute beast, and I went on a 35-mile cycle this month, which is something I do not do often, and I'm also not very fit. So I was dying afterwards, and like my body felt horrible, and I was like, my muscles need to be forced to relax. So I had a bath, and I'd also noticed that, I think I've mentioned in one of these like monthly favorite series videos before, that I have some bath bombs around my room because sometimes I get gifted them, but because I didn't have baths, I would use them as potpourri. However, like the potpourri, like the smell was spent. Like, they had been in my room for ages, so they didn't even really like smell that strong anymore, and I just had them lying around. So I put them in the bath, and it was so wonderful. And I was like, wait, like I do kind of get the hype. I don't think I would choose to have a bath over a shower. However, when I have been very, very tired, and when I was ill, and also now that we have the heat wave, they have been really, really nice. And a little hack with bath bombs, especially more expensive bath bombs, like Lush bath bombs, I literally just cut mine in half. And then it's like you still get the bath bomb, but it's like you don't need the whole bath bomb. So you get the fun of the bath bomb, but you get it twice. So I really recommend doing that. I'm not necessarily the #1 bath lover, but I am a bath appreciator, which I definitely wasn't before. Anyways, those are some of the things that I loved in June. I've had a very lovely month. It's just been very warm, and it's been very nice, and I've spent lots of time with friends. I was very ill, and that wasn't very fun, but as a whole, brilliant June. I'm excited to see what July will bring. I'm excited to see the things that I will learn and love in July that I can share with you guys at the end of the month. But other than that, please like, subscribe, please leave a comment and let me know what you've loved in June, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye!